Hey everybody, I'm John. I collect cards. Hope you're all doing well. It is Wednesday, October 23rd. We are 2 days away from game one of the World Series matchup that a lot of people probably in the back of their mind kind of wanted to see happen if their own team wasn't going to make the World Series. Now, I don't know how many people would actually say that, but given the Yankees and the Dodgers, they got among the highest payrolls, but they have some of the biggest stars and arguably the biggest stars in the game currently. And to see a historic World Series rivalry, I guess you could still say, be rekindled again 43 years later since they last squared off for the championship back in 1981. But knowing that this will be the 12th time they'll be going at it on baseball's biggest stage, a lot of people are excited about it. I'm one of those people for sure. I can't wait for the World Series to get started. Yankees-Dodgers, it's going to be a good one. And wouldn't you know it? I woke up this morning learning of the really, really, truly sad passing, excuse me, of Fernando Valenzuela. Just thought I'd pull out two cards that I had handy of him. I don't really have too many of his cards currently, but I wanted to just take a brief moment to recognize Fernando. And I was 8 years old in 1981, the year of Fernando Mania, when he took the National League and all of Major League Baseball by storm with that incredible start he had, and won the Cy Young Award, Rookie of the Year, and was a key part of that Dodgers team winning the World Series over the Yankees in '81. And he went on to have a pretty darn good career. Injuries kind of slowed him down a little bit, but man, we lost him way too soon at age 63. Dodgers legend, awesome baseball ambassador. So, Fernando, we will miss you. But I wanted to take a few minutes with this video. I'm sharing a few cards here, as you could see, from the 1950s, just to kind of, just do my part in a way in terms of a content creator to just get us vintage baseball card fans, aficionados, collectors, dealers, investors, all kind of excited and getting ready for what I think is going to be a fantastic World Series. Actually, I really do. And I'm not going to be making a prediction here on that, but needless to say, I hope the players in pinstripes prevail. But I wanted to take a moment here and share a couple of other items that I figured now would be a good time to share them. They're actually not cards, but with these 450s cards as a backdrop, I thought I'd take a moment to, well, first off, I'm going to share one thing from 1954 and another thing from 1952. And I'm going to share the thing from 1954 first. And it's this. It's basically a record book. And gosh, a very similar image of Roy Campanella there on the cover, next to his 1953 Topps card there. And who knows, maybe this inspired this, or just a different portrait, but similar kind of angle and stuff. But just thought that was very interesting. In fact, this card, when I saw this, I immediately thought of this card because I had just recently picked it up. I picked this up at an antique shop, antique mall near my hometown here in Michigan, and I just had to pick it up. It is it's a sporting news publication called One for the Book. A series, a record book series they published for I don't know exactly how long they did it. I think they started it in the early 50s or late 40s and continued with it for a while. But I just thought it was a pretty cool little find. I think I literally paid like $6 or $7 for this book, and it's a pretty nice shape. It's literally, I'll go back to that inside cover in a sec. It's literally records for just about anything you can think of. So I imagine this was in a lot of press boxes. A lot of reporters probably had these, or broadcasters, to pull out factoids and other just cool statistics and numbers from teams in baseball. But the Roy Campanella image really got me wanting to pick this up. And I also have the 1954 Topps baseball complete set, and I'm working on acquiring the Hall of Famers who weren't in the top set as well from Bowman, and then looking to pick up the Stan Musial Red Heart someday as well. But I have this book right with the box of my 54s. I lay it right on top of the slabs and the cards and stuff because, you know, they're all stored in a box vertically. And so this just rests on top, and I just kind of, I don't know, just sort of have it tucked in there that way for now. But I think it's a cool time capsule kind of piece. And in that sense, I'm going to carefully go through some of the advertising actually in this book and some of the, like, you know, end papers, because in some ways that's almost more interesting than the stats themselves, because from the time capsule perspective. But there it is, one for the book, 1954. There is an ad for Rawlings uniforms actually on the left inside cover there. Pretty cool. There's an intro note with a very cool image there, illustration of Ty Cobb. Pretty cool there. He, of course, was still the reigning hit king and batting average leader. And then I'm going to skip all the way to the end, actually, and we'll go through some of the end papers here at the back. Again, I just thought given how many times the Yankees and Dodgers played each other in the Fall Classic from 1941 through 1956, before the Dodgers left for Los Angeles, when they were in Brooklyn still. I just thought it would be cool to kind of break out a couple of items that I've been waiting to try to just find the right moment to share. The next thing I'm going to be sharing is pertaining mostly or solely to the Yankees, actually. But I watched like a 25-minute video last night on MLB.tv. They put together a real nice video of highlights, the main highlights of all 11 previous World Series between the Yankees and Dodgers. Clips that you've probably seen before, but it was just cool to kind of, you know, whet the appetite a little bit. They also ended the video with some clips from interleague play in recent years, including this year's 3-game series as well, which was a pretty good series overall, even though the Dodgers took 2 or 3 at Yankee Stadium. But let's go to these. I wanted to just share a couple of these pages here of advertisements. Here's one from the Seamless Rubber Company, advertising a seamless baseball and a few other things. Let's see if I could turn these pages gently. There are a couple of really cool ones in here. I guess it's always Budweiser time at a ball game, right? Very similar looking bottle. Slightly a different label, but pretty much the same. That was kind of cool. This is probably my favorite ad in the whole book. Carl Erskine set new strikeout record wearing his Nocona or Nocona. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce the brand, but I'm going to say Nocona. G57 glove. So this is a pretty cool, and look at that. Look at the glove of the era. A little smaller still from what they evolved into even just 20 years later. But Carl Erskine had set a World Series record in 1953 by striking out 14 Yankees. I got my camera set to a zoomed out focus, so I got to keep it a little further back to get the lettering in focus. But they struck out 14 Yankees in a World Series game in 53. It held up, I think, as the record until Sandy Koufax broke it in the 63 World Series. He struck out 15 Yankees. And then, which was later broken by Bob Gibson in the 68 World Series against Detroit, when he struck out 17, I believe. And I think that's still the record. Correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm completely spacing out, and that's no longer the record for strikeouts in a World Series game, but I think it is. But anyway, I thought this was a really cool ad here, and given it marks a World Series highlight, I thought that was cool between these two teams, Yankees and Dodgers. There's a really classic looking Coke ad. This would actually look even cool like in even in a nostalgic retro way, this ad would look cool even today in a World Series program. I think that's really cool. Cool picture there. There's a slight chance you might hear my cat whining in the background, but hopefully you don't hear him. And then here's a Spalding ad for baseballs. Official again for 54. I love how Spalding was still having baseball in 2 words. I thought that was actually really cool about this ad. And here's a Gillette ad. Again, this is the 1954 One for the Book, put out by the Sporting News. Just showing a few ads in here. A cavalcade of sports, actually. I wanted to highlight that. Look at that. Look what they have at the bottom. Boxing, then the World Series, Turf Classics. Oh, and by the way, college football bowl games. Priorities, I guess, have shifted a little bit in the, 70 years since this book came out. Can you believe it? 70 years since this book came out. That is wild. Cavalcade of sports was a big thing back then on TV, from what I hear and have read. Here's one ad for a brand of cleats, actually. Kangaroo baseball shoes. McGregor, I guess, made cleats back in the day, too. I think they made a whole bunch of sporting goods back in the day, not just gloves. There's one more ad here for Wilson. Wilson's got to be repped in here, right? Spalding's in here, and McGregor. Wilson had to be in here, and here they are. 5 great young stars of 53. We've got Harvey Keene, who was Rookie of the Year that year in the AL. We got Billy Martin, who was the star of the 1953 World Series, as it said. He was the MVP that year. He had a whole ton of hits. We got Sammy White, Jimmy Pearsall, Roy McMillan, Ted Williams. Cool ad there. And then look at this classic ad for Louisville Sluggers, Hillerich and Bradsby. Got Eddie Matthews, Al Rosen, Mickey Vernon, Carl Furillo, the homer and batting champs from 53. Very, very cool. And then this is not a YouTube Kids video, so just FYI, because here's Eddie Matthews touting tobacco. So, but definitely a period piece. Good stuff there. I just wanted to show this book for a bit, and now I'm actually going to I'm going to hold the phone actually for the rest of the video. I'm going to flip through a few pages of one other piece I wanted to share real quick, just again to kind of whet our appetites for the history of Yankees-Dodgers, and this is more going to be a Yankees piece solely with not really any Dodgers content in it, but I wanted to flip through a couple pages anyway. Okay, in a bit. See you in a bit. Okay, here is this other piece I wanted to show, and I did show it once before because I picked this up at the National this year. This is called a Yankees sketchbook from 1952. It's basically their yearbook, and I have a couple of pages that I wanted to go to. I'm not going to flip through every page in here. It's not in awesome condition, but it's still nice enough to open up and show a few pages for. Which I thought would be cool. It is pretty water stained, or it's got some staining in here. It's a little delicate. Those staples are a little rusty, but I've got it in a sleeve where it'll probably stay for, I probably won't take it out too often, but it was cool just to open this up. I wanted to highlight this page as it just has all those flags there. That was against the Dodgers. Let's see. That was against the Dodgers. That was against the Dodgers. So those three, I believe those three so far in 52. Because, gosh, at the start of 52, the Yankees and Dodgers would meet 4 times in 5 years for the World Series. So just some really, really cool photographs in this book. Some you've definitely seen before, and some you have seen also on baseball cards, actually, which I'll point out a couple here that I definitely have noticed, but pretty cool. I like the way they kind of have this on the shield. That's very, very period there, which is kind of neat. Let me skip past this page. It's like ownership, I think, there, but there's a page on Casey Stengel I wanted to highlight. Again, let me see if I could zoom in a little bit here. There we go. That's a little better. But I like how the Casey Stengel biography here talks about some of his World Series exploits against the Yankees when he was with the New York Giants. But he also played for the Brooklyn Dodgers and a couple of other teams in his career. He was a really good ball player and a pretty darn good manager, as it turned out. He was in the midst of the 5 straight World Championship streak here, going into 52. I think they had won the previous 3 years, and they won in 52 and 53 against the Dodgers. There's a page on Allie Reynolds. They gave Allie Reynolds a whole spread here, actually, which is pretty cool. Here's a page I wanted to highlight. Is that familiar? That Yogi Berra picture? He was the MVP in 1951, I believe, I'm guessing. Based on that, I think he was. That is his 1952 Topps card image, I believe. I could be wrong. I think it is, though. I don't have the card, so that's why I'm only thinking that's what it is. I'm pretty sure that's his 52 Topps image. Here's Phil Rizzuto. I'm pretty sure I've seen that on a card as well. I just can't remember which one it is. For all I know, it's 52 Topps as well. I just can't remember. We'll go a couple more pages, and then we'll wrap this up. I wanted to show this one. Here we go. That certainly looks familiar. So there's the Mick, where it says here, the top star of the Yankees' future may be Mickey Mantle. Yeah, very, very well could be. So Joe DiMaggio had just retired. But of course, this photo of the Mick is on his, oh gosh, is it the Dandy Potato Chips, I believe, for 54? So this is an older photo that they, a lot of times they just would use portraits for a number of years. Various companies, if they had the license to use it. But I just thought I'd share that Mantle image. Johnny Mize, another Hall of Famer. So there's Gene Woodling there, a solid outfielder for the Yanks, contributor. Jerry Coleman, who of course had a fantastic career also in the broadcast booth. And now I'm going to skip actually toward the back of the book here, and then we'll wrap this up, just because the middle's a little delicate with the staples in particular. But some cool all-time stats there. And I wanted to go to this page here. Here's a Yankees in the World Series to this point by 51. You can see they played the Dodgers in 41, 47, and 49. Yeah, 41, 47, and 49. And like I said before, it would be 4 of the next 5 years while the Dodgers were still in Brooklyn that they squared off in the series. The Dodgers took 1 of them in 55. The Yanks will take 3. And overall, the Yankees lead the World Series edge. They have a World Series edge of 8-3 against the Dodgers. But the Dodgers won the last tilt in 1981 in 6 games. So we shall see how. In fact, we'll wrap this up. I'll turn to the back cover here. And pretty cool ad for DiMaggio. Pretty cool back cover there of Mel Allen. So, but we'll wrap this up here. Again, Dodgers lead the all-time. The Dodgers won the last tilt against these two teams. The Yanks lead the World Series matchups 8-3. We'll see how number 12 does. Enjoy it, everybody. I think it's going to be a great World Series, and I'll see you on the next video.